throughout Harvard for approximately the 20-year planning horizon. So kind of overview of the goal of this project. This is Harvard's first bicycle and pedestrian plan, so the first comprehensive look at sort of what biking and walking is like in Harvard, how it can be improved for the safety, accessibility of pedestrians and cyclists trying to get to destinations around Harvard. We're also making some recommendations for projects, as I talked about, installation of some bike lanes and other crossing improvements. We also talk about how to fund those projects, what sort of grant opportunities are available both at the state and federal level, and some recommendations as far as how to prioritize the installation, so not everything has to be done at once. Once we get to the project list, don't be afraid if it looks like a lot of lines on the map. Take your time with implementing those over time. And like I referenced, this was fully funded through CMAP's Technical Assistance Program. The vision and goals that we established with Harvard city staff were primarily that Harvard has a safe, comfortable, and connected network of bicycle and pedestrian routes for everyone to travel around community, get to school, parks, downtown, regional destinations. We want to prioritize the goals of safety, comfort, connectivity, legibility, and designing our roads for the intended users, which should include on certain routes, bicyclists, and pedestrians. To kind of talk through the project timeline, we started this about a year ago. Started with existing conditions, data analysis, looking at crash data, what the existing facilities are around Harvard. Admittedly, there's not many, but it's kind of nice to start with a blank slate sometimes. Talked about or looked at what is the pedestrian network. There was one very dedicated city staff who evaluated the sidewalk network on her own and gave us all of kind of her assessment of what the condition was, which was really nice to use. Looking at where are there gaps in the network, what are the destinations we're trying to get to. We also did a lot of public engagement throughout kind of the March through November timeframe. A lot of our online, all of our online engagement was translated both in English and Spanish, and then we also attended multiple community events, and I'll talk through some of those further in the presentation. We had a couple Spanish-speaking staff available for a number of those, so try to make sure that everyone in the Harvard community could participate in sharing their feedback and input on this plan. We drafted up the recommendations in December, working with city staff to finalize those. And now here presenting to you what we've come up with through this presentation, and then the full plan draft was also included in your agenda packet. As an overview of the types of public engagement activities that we did, and again, I'll kind of talk through the takeaways of these on an upcoming slide. I want to highlight the number of community events that we came to. It was really fun to come out here to Harvard for Milk Days and National Night Out. I think those are two of my favorites. We also did a pop-up at the pool in the summer when it was really nice out, talked to some high school students there. We did a bike ride around the town on the fall equinox and also had a booth at Dia de los Muertos. That was where we gave an overview of what the draft recommendations were. And then lastly, talking about this Walk and Bike to School Day, that's going to happen in May. We're working with the school district, kind of using that as a celebration of finalizing this planning process, let people know that there will be planned improvements coming to make it easier for them to walk and bike to school, and kind of give them an idea of what their recommended routes for them to use to get around town will be moving forward. We also did some online engagement throughout the process, 2 surveys and an interactive map where people could kind of log on and point out locations that they wanted to see improvements. And we also had a steering committee that met 3 times throughout the process. These are primarily different cities departments. So Joe was a big part of that, weighing in from the Parks District. We had McHenry County, a DOT representative, representatives from IDOT, and the RTA were invited. The forest preserves were involved, and so some of the recommendations kind of are talking about accessing their amenities around the region, and a couple other city residents that were just really engaged in the process and wanted to talk with us. And then also did some 5 stakeholder interviews, just kind of deep diving into some of the recommendations, especially with the jurisdictional partners that will help implement some of these that aren't fully in Harvard's kind of control or jurisdiction. This is one of the spreads that we have in the plan document, so it's a lot of information up here, but it's all available in the report for you to kind of dig into. We wanted to just kind of highlight some of the key takeaways, the number of people that we were reaching, some of the opinions and like which options we were talking about had the most support from people that we talked to. I want to highlight that middle box that's talking about the percentage of things people wanted the plan to focus on. These were like what people said is their top choice. Increasing safety was definitely the top one, which is great to see, but people also wanted to see increased recreation opportunities and more transportation connections. So getting into what the recommendations look like might be a little bit hard to see on these screens, but again, hopefully you can take a closer look in the plan. I do want to highlight kind of the big number of the 66 miles of side paths. So those are kind of, you can call them shared use paths or trails. It's the separated facility adjacent to the roadway. These are really nice for busier roads that are either like state or county controlled, and you can see a lot of those recommendation lines kind of going off to make connections across the region. The Stone Mill Trail is a good example of kind of what a side path type facility looks like. And a lot of these are making connections on kind of the busier streets, the ones where there's significant right-of-way available, and like I said, make connections outside of town. So not all of these are really things that Harvard is responsible for like funding themselves. It's this plan is really kind of the foundation for when funding becomes available. You can point to this plan and say, hey, community of Harvard, the people, the residents here want to see these types of things. We have community support for this. We think that makes this project a good applicant for this type of funding. And so it's like a first step of laying the groundwork there. It can also be a nice touch point with your jurisdictional partners like IDOT and McHenry County. So if some of these roads are up for improvements, if they're doing projects on it, you can say, hey, can you add this bike improvement as well as part of this? Can you add this crossing improvement at this location? These are things that were identified in our plan process that will help Harvard residents get around better. We also took a look at the sidewalk network and kind of noted where all of the gaps in the network exist today, where there's segments of missing sidewalk where the connections don't occur. And then we prioritized those for sidewalk infill, focusing around your school locations. So the first priority are within a quarter mile of the school, priority 2 within a half mile of schools, and then kind of the priority 3 would be all other locations that have existing sidewalk gaps. We also noted a number of intersection improvements. These are primarily on especially the busier routes with higher traffic volumes, higher traffic speeds that kind of intersect with those either bike routes or pedestrian routes that we're wanting to prioritize. So these intersections, I'll note, would not be individual projects in and of themselves. They would kind of be recommendations and improvements that would happen as some of those corridor projects are happening. And again, this is another one. You can see a lot of them are on US 14. Again, that's not Harvard's responsibility to implement, but when IDOT is potentially looking at making improvements down the line to that corridor, you can say, hey, the community of Harvard thinks that these locations need some improvement, need some changes that can help people feel safer crossing them on foot or by bike. And the last aspect of this plan, we put in some policies and program ideas. These are just kind of some ideas that other communities use to kind of help enhance and support bicycle and pedestrian safety and kind of say we want people to walk and bike around town here. We have example language of some of these policies in the appendix of the plan, so feel free to take a look at those. we suggest a Vision Zero policy, saying that we want to achieve zero traffic-related injuries or deaths in Harvard. It's a really great goal to set, really hard to achieve. A lot of places around the community or around the state and the nation have established this and are trying to work through it by making infrastructure improvements and other safety changes in policy. Complete Streets Ordinance says that you're going to look at giving pedestrians and bicyclists the appropriate facility on streets throughout town. As a resurfacing project is happening, is it an opportunity to add a bike lane? Is it an opportunity to add a side path? Is there a chance to stripe a sidewalk where there isn't, or stripe a crosswalk where there isn't one today? You can do a Bike Month proclamation. A lot of different ideas that I won't go through all of them, but feel free to ask questions if there's any that don't make sense. We also suggest some different kind of programmatic things, and again, not all of these make sense to be under the city's purview, but they can be done through partnerships with the school district or Parks District. A walk and bike to school day, like I said, we're organizing one as kind of the end point of this plan, but just a day where it's a meeting place is set. Kids all gather, they walk together to school, they bike together to school. Just a way to say, like, hey, this is possible. Here's a route that is safe for you to use to do so. And yeah, kind of, again, other programmatic ideas that don't cost money to implement, but they do cost time. So recognizing that that's something to think about as you take a look at this plan. Lastly, I'm going to go into some of the key projects that came to the top as first priorities for implementation. And some of these are actually already kind of in the works to move forward. Two of them being under the pedestrian side, the Illinois 173 sidewalk and US 14 sidewalk, adding segments there that don't currently exist, making some important connections to destinations that we heard from the community throughout the process that they want to be able to get to. Mentions of people, walking on the side of the road, noticing people, even riding their wheelchairs on the shoulder to try and get to destinations like the Walmart on the south side of town. As far as the bicycle improvements, Rango Road and Diggins, those are big streets that having a separated facility similar to the Stone Mill Trail makes people feel more comfortable biking along them. And one I do want to highlight is the Jefferson Street bike route down at the bottom. That's a north-south street residential, so this would be what we call a bike boulevard. It's a low-speed, low-traffic volume street that is an alternative to the busier US 14 as a bike route. So kind of prioritizing cyclists to use that instead of trying to bike on US 14 as a safer alternative for them. It also connects right up to the group of schools in Northeast Harvard. And with that, I will take any questions. I know that was a lot to go through.
I did have one question about the improvements at the intersections on 14.
Mm-hmm.
So the state redid 14 a couple years ago and did a lot of improvements with the sidewalks at the intersection. So I'm wondering what they still need to do.
Yeah, and that's a good point. There was recent work done on that route, so again, with this being kind of the 20-year vision,
right?
It's not necessarily saying that any of this will happen soon. And yes, there are a couple locations that currently have striped crosswalks, so that certainly enhances visibility. There are some additional recommendations that we've suggested, including things like the pedestrian activated push buttons that sort of flash as someone is wanting to cross if it's not at a signalized crossing. That can also enhance visibility, so maybe identifying some key improvements like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So I would like to thank you and CMAP for all of your work. Stephanie came onto this project in the middle of some chaos within City Hall, so she was very patient with us in getting this going. And there was a lot of work done on their end as well as on our staff end and some members of our community to make this all work. It was a very long process. It didn't just happen overnight. And so this is a really great thing for us, and I appreciate all your help and time and our meeting dates and our rescheduled dates and everything we had along the way. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks. Shout out to Rob and Deb for being great to work with. I really appreciated, working with them. It was a fun time. If you have any questions or things you want to talk about afterwards, feel free to email me. Deb has my contact if you don't write it down here. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
CMAP's been very inspirational in helping the city with a number of projects, and this certainly is. The pedestrian bicycle path plan started off around 2016, I think, when we asked then Superintendent Knope to build out a plan to connect all of our parks. And that's when we realized we need more help than just that. And so we eventually applied for CMAP, and they helped create a really robust plan that the city can now use and prioritize how we want to implement it. So that'll be coming to you next in terms of how you want to prioritize the plan. So thank you very much, ladies. Okay, moving on to item number 10, proposed tax levy abatement ordinance amendment. The abatement is meant for the revenue bonds issued for the water system, TIF district, police pension, and road bond program. Pledged revenues are sufficient to pay for the principal and interest. We're seeking a motion to adopt the proposed tax levy abatement ordinance amendment as presented. This was discovered after we had submitted our tax abatements, and then each year this is sent to the city to proof it, and that's where we discovered that, oh, wait a minute, the road program needs to be abated, and because that happened after we sent in the abatement, we now have the opportunity to fix that. So that's what this is about, is abating the road program tax so that that's not included.
In the property tax.
In the property tax, yes.
So I'll make a motion to adopt the proposed tax levy abatement ordinance amendment.
I'll second.
All right, a motion by Haderlein and second by Perkins. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
Yes.
Perkins. Yes.
Albertson.
Yes. Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Item number 11 is payment of the bills. Seek a motion to approve payment of the bills in the amount of $487,111.64.
I'll make a motion to approve payment of the bills in the amount of $487,111.64.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Haderlein, second by Hoeflich. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite. Perkins. Yes. Albertson. Yes. Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Item number 12 is Class B liquor license application with extended Saturday and Sunday hours. Hanif Mystique and Jamal A. Chundrari, I think that's how it's pronounced. One Stop Mart LLC has submitted an application for Class B liquor license with extended Saturday and Sunday hours. Your actions requested to approve or deny the application pending submission of fees and insurance.
Is this the former gas station?
Yes,
On
yes.
14, okay, thanks.
So the business has been sold from one to the other. They're now just seeking to extend their hours. Chief, did you have any issues with this request at all?
No, and it does not. I'll make a motion to approve their license as submitted for the extended hours.
Second.
Have a motion by Lancaster, second by Albertson. Let's mess that up. Apologies. And to approve the Class B liquor license application with extended Saturday and Sunday hours. Any comments or questions?
I'm just curious what that means, what the hours are then extended to.
So it goes from normal time is 2, extended hours, I believe, is to 4 a.m. Is that right, Chief?
Okay, and then what time does it start in the morning?
I believe 9 a.m.,
7, I think.
7 a.m.
Not that I know for sure.
11, yeah, Sundays is 11.
Because it has to be before the Bears game.
Okay. It's true. Thank you. I'm just curious.
Are there any other convenience stores that have extended liquor hours? I know we have a couple of bars that do, but I'm not aware of a convenience store that has. Yeah. So that's up to your prerogative if you want to approve that.
Well, they also have video gaming,
They do, yes.
right? And so they serve alcohol.
They do, yes.
So-
As required by
Right.
the fact to have
Right.
video game.
So if they were still a gas station, this wouldn't probably be an issue. Because I certainly, if they were a gas station, would not
State's
have,
right here, it's,
would not have approved of them having
Lisa,
video gaming.
state's right in here that they're a convenience store with gas station.
Yeah,
And
it says
360
that.
South.
Right,
You
but
thinking
they
of
don't
the-
have a gas station.
No, that's 360. 360 is on Henson's Plaza.
It's the little corner store.
Yeah, it's the little corner store.
No,
right.
it isn't. 360.
It's either wrong in there.
At McGuire.
Yeah, that's what I thought. McGuire and 14.
McGuire and 14.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
it's
the
going
one
to be
I'm saying.
located on there.
Oh,
Next to
Across from
Quick,
Walgreens.
That's
Hanson
what Lou's
Plaza, the
thinking,
Quick
Lisa.
Lube, the
oh,
Subway.
so it's
yes.
not
No, it's the one in the
the
Henson's
little
Plaza.
corner store.
Henson
Yeah.
Plaza. Henson Plaza.
Oh, it's the mobile.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The mobile? No, they
It
don't.
does not. We denied
They
that
do not. We denied that.
a couple of years ago.
So the extended hours are to be able to sell alcohol
Correct.
later.
Off-site, yes. Carry out.
Okay.
Class A is to pour.
Right. So Class B is,
So are they open 24 hours there?
Not to my knowledge,
Or
no.
they're just going to stay
I don't
open till
believe
4
any.
now?
Actually,
Maybe-
they're closed before then, because if you go there before 5 a.m. sometimes, 4:30, they're closed in the morning like a regular weekday.
It's 4 now. Earlier.
I go there to get gas and stuff before I go to work sometimes. It's right down the street.
Who's to say their hours aren't going to change? That's up to them, to be fair. It's just whether or not we deem that they should have.
Whether or not you will permit them to sell alcohol after midnight, essentially. Or I'm sorry,
after 2 a.m.
After 2 a.m.
No,
Saturday and Sunday.
right,
Yes.
right. And actually knowing now that it's the mobile station, not the little corner store.
Yeah.
Um,
And what bars in town is past 2 a.m.? I'll say there's none. So, but this, I know that.
because there's no one left.
No,
They've all
but,
gone home.
but what's, because you
But-
said there's a
but I
few other
believe,
ones.
the ones open early though, right? No? Oh.
They don't get the
Guess they don't have
traffic from
early
the train
crowding.
anymore.
That's because we have no overnight shifts currently. When Motorola had an overnight shift, when we had factories in the community,
Wendy's,
yeah. Yeah, So that was geared towards people who actually worked overnight and had a different lifestyle than most of us are used to and probably, don't remember. But just in my younger day, I worked overnight in the city at a grocery store. And I was putting myself through school. So 7 a.m., finding someplace to drink at 7 a.m. was important to that crew.
Because their 7 a.m. is
It's
your normal
5 o'clock.
5 p.m.
Right.
Right.
So I did just want to say that knowing that it's the mobile, I don't have an issue with the hours, with the extended hours. If it were the location that's more near residential, that would have given me,
Nowhere near residential.
it's nowhere near residential. So but I was going to bring up. So thank you, Matt, for
You're welcome.
clarifying where this is.
Yeah, you guys kept talking about the old gas station. I'm like, no, it's still a gas station.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Perkins.
No.
Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich. Yes. Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite. Yes. Motion carries 7-1.
Okay, item number 13 is outdoor market application from Sergio Flores Cruz, Rolling Ice Cream LLC. Sergio Cruz, owner of Rolling Ice Cream LLC, is requesting permission to operate a mobile food truck at Milky Way Park during the 2026 calendar year. The outdoor market license application has been submitted. Fees have been paid. Seeking your action to approve or deny the request.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Perkins, second by Lancaster, to approve the outdoor market license for Sergio Cruz, owner of Rolling Ice Cream LLC, for the calendar year 2026. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, what's the fees on something like that? City collects?
I believe it's currently at $50.
For the whole summer?
Yes. It's $25 per application or $50 for the year.
It's coming at our next meeting.
Pardon?
It's coming at our next meeting for the
Yeah, the fee
fees.
structure is going to be looked at in community development meeting next month, but the current fee structure is $50 for the year or $25 per
Cheap.
occurrence.
Have any other vendors utilized this space before for this?
At Milky Way Park,
Yes. When they did the soccer
for the
stuff.
soccer tournaments, yes. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Albertson.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite. Yes. Perkins.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Item number 14, Vejito's Car Club and Cars and Coffee event for June 6, 2026. We're seeking a motion to approve the request for Vejito's Car Club to host a Cars and Coffee event on June 6, 2026 during the Downtown Business Alliance Farmers Market, including a waiver of the 2-hour parking restriction and use of parking spaces on Air Street, blocks 16 through 29, or alternatively, the parking lot at 205 East Front Street. So what I will say for this request is that the council should approve the alternative parking lot because this is Milk Days weekend. And so utilizing Air Street to park their cars during the parade, on the parade route. And we do have one of the applicants here. So please state your name and address for the record.
Car Club. I didn't realize Milk Days was this weekend, only because the Downtown Business Alliance told me to request this weekend.
Yeah, so I think they're planning on doing their downtown market on Front Street
Right.
next to Bop's, which is
Okay.
great during milk days. I don't think there's an issue. But having the cars on Air Street on the parade route, that just wouldn't, I can't see us being able to approve that.
Would you give us a chance to talk to Jill and that team to look for a different date?
Would you want to do the
yeah, that's-
alternative,
sure.
parking lot?
I do like that block on Front Street. The only thing is, we might have to look for an outside vendor, to provide us the coffee or
I see.
other thing. Whereas downtown, we had Bella's, we have the mug,
Sure, the mug's right there.
yeah, so that was our alternative, only because we also weren't sure about the parking on Air Street. We did have it blocked off for Dia de los Muertos, which was very successful. We were able to get the cars in and out perfectly fine. We didn't have any issues with traffic, anybody walking through, looking at the cars or anything like that.
I think from that perspective, no issues. It's just that particular date,
Yeah,
Air Street
I think we
is,
thought Milk
yeah.
Days was the weekend
prior,
prior.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we were looking at the calendar today, and we're like, wait a minute, that's Milk Days weekend.
Yeah, I didn't know that, so you just said that
Yeah,
right now.
that's gonna be a problem on
Okay.
Air Street, but we could certainly do the alternate parking. But if you want to seek another Saturday to do it,
Okay.
that might be, well, good too. I mean, if the Business Alliance has been trying to do one every month, maybe July is a better
Yeah.
month.
So what's the idea on Air? Is that like looking okay, or should we just kind of stay with this date and stay on front?
Oh, in terms of putting them on air, that's up to the council whether they would approve that. They approved it last time, but I mean, council, do you have any issues on a different date that they can
Not
do
me.
this?
Because the other thing is,
Hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically, without taking a vote on anything.
Yeah, you can't
not
really
in front
take
of
a
the
vote
council.
that's not, yeah. I mean, generally, my experience is that, you know, unless there's some other major conflict like Milk Days, it generally is approved.
yeah, I didn't realize that. But I guess that when I talked to, I believe, Jannette, she wasn't sure about the street being able to be closed.
Well, I think it depends on what the event is, timing. Generally, we don't like to close the street unless it's a big event. But certainly blocking off that parking where it was specific for your event while still leaving the street open might be something to consider. I don't know, people walking around the cars might make sense to close the street. So, when you have it, my recommendation is when you have a date is come back and
Okay.
let's talk about it.
I mean, I would like to take it back to the club, with them being on Front Street. And if, you know, we can find a different date and it being okay on Air, like, then we maybe can consider that as well.
Sure.
So
Sure.
if they can have an idea, I guess?
She has time to come back in April if you decide to keep that date on front.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's still time.
yeah, I guess I want to, I'm just thinking of what's the possibility on Air, so I can think of another date.
I think generally speaking, in the past, the council's been amicable to it, so, you know, but until it's brought before them with a specific date, you know, I'd say there's probably a better chance than not.
Okay, because it would probably be the second Saturday of the month, because that's when the outdoor vendors.
So in July, the only thing I think happening in July is America 250.
July 11th.
That'd be on the 4th.
So the
Yeah.
second weekend would be the 11th, right? So that would not be a conflict. So I don't think
Yeah.
there's a conflict on that date.
If I could jump in here as well, from a traffic control perspective, maybe something that could also be done is utilizing a block. So you would go down the north side of Front Street, the east side of Air Street, and then back up like the east side of Brainerd Street. So everybody that wants to look at the cars doesn't have to cross the street to go to the other side of the street. They just all, you know, ride that inside edge. That way there'd be less pedestrian interaction as well as far as crossing traffic lanes or needing to shut them down.
Yeah, for Dia de los Muertos, what they did is they closed front, but then that whole town was black. So we opened the gates as the cars were coming in and closed them as they were already in. And we didn't open them too often. We did have some late arrivals, but we didn't have any issues holding up traffic on front either.
And I am aware of years, well, I say years ago, maybe 15 years ago, there used to be a car show that was in front of what used to be the Capitol Creamery. But they didn't close down the street for that. They just parked out on the street and had a car show almost weekly, I think, back then. So I think it's possible. Whether or not the street gets shut down or not, that's up for debate. But find your date and come back, and there's still plenty of time for us to kind of consider.
I'll talk to the Downtown Business Alliance, because if they do have a vendor that can supply it, maybe we'll stick with the
Okay.
date. Okay. All right. Thank you.
I did have a question. Usually when a street is closed, is that something that goes through the police department, Public Works, or just the city council?
So city council has to approve to close the street. When that happens, typically Public Works provides the barricades. If it's during normal workday hour, the Public Works can help set up barricades, and specifically for milk days. But beyond that, usually it's volunteers from the event. So the barricades are pre-staged, and then the volunteers from the event would utilize them.
Which is what we did. Our club plus another local club, we were the ones controlling the barricades that day.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, item number 15, staff recommendation, a memorandum of understanding between the City of Harvard and the School Board of Education of Harvard Community District 50. Seek a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the City of Harvard, Board of Education of Harvard Community Unit School District 50 regarding police access to the school video surveillance for emergency response and criminal investigations.
And I just wanted to clarify for folks that it's my understanding that this is putting into writing an agreement that documents what our relationship has been with the school district. So it's just having a formal written memorandum to that effect.
We do have access to it now because of Officer Cohen being the SRO, so he can access it in his office. This is just putting in writing to authorize us remote access. The most important thing is for the critical or the emergency response, if there is an incident in the school, we as responders can log into their video system and view live of what's going on in the building.
Okay. Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the City of Harvard and the Board of Education of Harvard Community Unit School District 50 regarding police access to school video surveillance for emergency response and criminal investigation.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Haderlein, second by Albertson. Any comments or questions here?
I just want to state, I feel much more comfortable seeing the privacy and limitations on use in there, nice and clear.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Kreite.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Albertson.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you, clerk. Item number 16 is the Infrastructure Committee recommendation concerning the 2026 road program, sidewalk retaining wall analysis. Seeking a motion to approve Christopher B. Burke's Engineering's proposal to include the west side of Lincoln Street as part of the base project and the east side as an alternate, allowing flexibility based on bid results at an estimated cost, additional cost of $200,000.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Perkins, second by Haderlein, to approve Christopher B. Burke's Engineering's proposal to include the west side of Lincoln Street as part of the base project and the east side as an alternate, allowing flexibility based on bid results at an estimated cost of additional $200,000. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Platt-Miller,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Hoeflich,
Yes.
Lancaster,
Yes.
Kreite,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Albertson,
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
All right, thank you. Item number 17 is strategic vision review. Any items on the strategic vision that council wishes to review tonight?
Yeah, this time for me.
Okay, moving on to staff reports.
Anyone else? John? Anyone else? Only one person said not for me, so I'm just making sure.
Oh, no, I just
Okay.
figured my silence was enough.
Are we gonna have a community economic development meeting?
We'll
this
get that in line 19.
month? Okay. Just making sure.
I mentioned early in the meeting too.
Any other comments or questions? All right, moving on to staff reports. We'll start on this end. Chief, since you got the microphone.
Tomorrow, we're finishing up the final stages of our new hire process for our eligibility list with interviews. Other than that, just so everybody knows, I will be out of the office for 2 weeks, starting next Wednesday, having a medical procedure done. Other than that, I have nothing else.
Okay, DC? Nothing tonight? Joe?
The report is submitted this month because we didn't have a parks meeting or community and economic development engagement is with recreation together in one report. Thank you.
Rob?
Report is submitted. We're getting ready for spring. With that, we still have the opening for the parks lead worker. We've got a number of qualified applicants. We'll be reaching out to them shortly here to schedule interviews. What I am lacking is applicants for park seasonal positions. So if anybody knows of anybody, please reach out, send them our way. We need people to mow and water flowers and do all the normal stuff that helps keep our parks looking good. So that's what I got.
All right, thank you. Mike?
The only thing I'll add is we're finishing up flushing this week, so we'll be on Air Street tomorrow morning, as well as finishing up the Walmart fire hydrants tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Clayton?
In addition to the report in the package, there's been some activity at Starbucks. There's been a plumbing inspection today, which means that, there is some activity. And we also heard that the barbecue place is opening this Wednesday in South Air, so that is additional good news. And since we put together the packet, there's been 2 additional residential homes that acquired permits. And
Which subdivision?
that's out in Turtle Crossing,
Okay.
so 2 more over there, in addition to the ones that were in the packet. Ann's been able to get out a lot more doing code enforcement, so things are going to be looking a lot better out there.
All right, thank you.
I heard a rumor to say that, and I don't think it's in our town, unless you guys haven't told us, supposedly there's a subdivision near Harvard coming into town, or near Harvard for 40 homes. You guys heard anything about that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Just,
Not that I'm aware of, no.
I just heard.
It's not in the city limits, that's for sure.
That's what I figured when someone told me. And what they said is legit, so that's why I was trying to figure out.
Must be in the county.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if there's a subdivision that large proposed in unincorporated.
They need to figure out how to bring power. And it's not the person on the line that told me.
Well, certainly that power is going to be an issue and
Water
if it's,
and sewer.
well,
Yeah.
they'd have to
Right,
do well and
Well,
septic.
and septic,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
That's something you'd have to take up with the county, I guess, see if it's happening through the county, but I'm not aware. I'm not aware. If we can talk them to come to Harvard, I'd happy to chat with them.
As long as they finish up the subdivisions we have.
So,
There's a lot of open land, so.
Ann?
Report submitted, and I just want to say that it's been great working with Clayton so far. I feel like we got the band back together. That's all.
All right, thank you.
I got one more.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
This is probably, this is very important. Single round leaf pickup the week of April 6th.
I was going to mention that in the mayor's report, but that's fine. It's
My apologies. I just want to make sure that's an important one.
that is an important one, yes. One time through the city, you're going through to pick up
Hey, you can put
leaves.
that on Facebook?
So, yes, it'll be posted. All right, committee reports. Lori, you have anything for council tonight?
Do we need to have a parks meeting?
We do.
Okay, so then should we schedule, is it usually the third Monday?
Yes, I think that would be the 20th.
20th would be the 3rd.
Okay, can we do it?
What day?
The 20th of April?
Milk Days, it definitely wants to be on the agenda because they have a new drawing to present to the committee.
For that big building?
Yes.
Right.
So they definitely are trying to move that project forward, and they've got a new drawing, I guess, a new building to go through the committee and back to council. So, and I don't know if there's anything else off the top of my head, but I know that one was an important issue.
420?
Rob, is there anything at this time?
Is that what you said?
for Parks?
That is correct.
I might be busy. No, I'm just kidding.
There may be as we get closer.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, that will be at least one thing, and an America 250 update.
Yeah, 250.
What time?
6:30? I think that's the usual.
Anything else?
Nope, that should do it.
Okay. Joel, do you have anything for council tonight?
Oh, no, not tonight, thank you.
All right, thank you. Matt?
We got a committee for community economic development, 414. Does that work for everyone?
It's for me. On the calendar already.
What days that fall on?
On Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm good.
6 days before the 20th.
What time, Matt?
Can we usually do 6:30, but can we push to 7? Is that okay with you guys?
That's fine.
That's the reason, because my daughter has a softball game, and I want to see most of it.
Sure.
Yeah, you should.
Right.
Like 7:30 if you want.
Oh.
Don't push it. Don't push it.
Very calm.
2 a.m.
Wait, what was that, 4 o'clock place on McGuire?
Anything else?
No,
All right.
thank you.
Jay, anything tonight?
Nothing.
All right. Moving this way, Lisa, anything tonight?
There is a tree board meeting on April 1st. Is that right? Next Wednesday, yes, at 6:30. There will not be an admin committee meeting in April
No way. Hey.
unless some emergency comes up. But as of now, no. So, yeah, and we'll be at the tree board meeting. We'll be talking about our tree planting extravaganza on May 2nd. So, yeah.
That's what you're calling it?
That's what I'm calling it.
Jeez,
Yeah.
come up with something better.
Yeah, it's going to be Lions Park and just, we're going to go crazy. Trees for
Where do I
every,
sign up?
trees all over the park. Yes.
Rob will pick you up.
Yeah.
That does remind me, for parks, I was mentioned that you wanted to meet not here. Is that something you still want to do as a remote meeting?
That might be difficult now with the milk days. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to check because
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And then in that case, it'll be like, I think Northfield is what we were talking about.
okay,
So,
all right. So standard as usual here then. Okay.
Correct.
Where were we? Oh, Annamarie?
Nothing at this time.
All right, John?
We need transportation next month?
We do not.
No, I don't think so.
Well, nothing for me then. Unless something comes up.
Hopefully not. Mike?
Nothing to this evening.
All right. Moving on to treasurer's report. We've been waiting all night for her to say this.
The report is submitted in the packet.
All right, thank you. I know.
Yep.
Attorney's report.
I have nothing at this time, Mayor.
Okay. On that note, though, we're expecting the Amrise contract to be coming back to council at some point maybe by next council meeting if they're fast enough turnaround.
I would expect at the next council meeting, they have all of our proposals at this point, so we're running out of time. June is quickly approaching.
Yes, it is.
So I have told them that June is quickly approaching and they can't
Is
sit on
that
this for 6
Wholesome?
months or 6 weeks again. Yeah.
Amrise?
Yes.
Okay.
Amrise, Wholesome, Meyer.
Yeah,
Insert
I know.
whatever name you want.
Like, yeah.
All of the above.
Yes.
Amrise,
Amrise.
Wholesome, Meyer.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. 22, administrator's report.
Nothing further than what's in the packet. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Clerk's report.
Upcoming meeting dates, excuse me. Wednesday, April 1st, tree board at 6:30. Friday, April 3rd, City Hall will be closed. Tuesday, April 7th, Planning and Zoning meeting has been canceled. Tuesday, April 14th, Community and Economic Development at 7 p.m. Monday, April 20th, Parks and Recreation at 6:30. And the next regular city council meeting will be April 28th at 7 p.m. That will also be the year-end meeting.
How are we doing on economic interest forms? Do we know?
I don't know. I will check on that and advise.
If you haven't turned it in, time is getting short. So just want to make sure everybody has done that.
I believe if they're not in by the end of, by May 1st, then fines start kicking in.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. Okay, thank you. Under the mayor's report, I did want to mention something that came to my attention today. We had, and this is really a kudos for our police department. So we had a very crazy case that came to our department concerning child abuse and sexual harassment or sexual misconduct. Anyways, it involved another agency within Wisconsin, Sun Prairie. The Sun Prairie chief called our chief to let our chief know that our police department had gone above and beyond in this investigation, providing key evidence and feedback to that agency and the FBI in pursuing the perpetrator. And so I just wanted to let council know that our police department is held in very high regard from outside agencies who, in this case, had never dealt with HPD and found it very, very above and beyond what they have had when they've dealt with similar situations from other agencies. So big kudos to our police department. So thank you, guys. I will say our staff is finally at full complement in terms of department heads, and they're very busy picking up the balls and running with them, and so I'm very pleased with it. I think Deb has lots more help than she had for many months, and so she's able to start to kind of focus on the things that she needs to focus on with the help from those other departments. So things look very good from my perspective. I think we're going to see some marked changes from what we've had in the past few years. So thank you very much to you and your staff. And I think there was something else I was supposed to mention. Oh, yes, that's right. I knew there was something, and I hadn't written it down. So following the last Community and Economic Development Committee meeting, we are proceeding with investigating the decommissioned sirens, the tornado sirens within the city. So there will be testing of these sirens to understand their current state by an outside agency with connection with our PD. That will happen on April 1st. So
April Fool's Day accordingly.
Really?
Great.
April 1st
Lovely.
at 10 a.m. And generally, I think we're going to plan, it's going to take several hours because they're going to go, Rob, I think, is one of the, they're going to go test every alarm or every siren to understand their full state. So we will notify NERCOM so they get calls, everybody knows. It's all testing. We'll put it on social media. We want to make sure all of you knew if you get calls. We're testing the system to understand its full integrity to determine, next steps for trying to rehabilitate it. So that's where we are.
Are we gonna, when we test those, are we gonna test?
I think this particular testing is just simply testing the mechanics of them to see if they work. I think that will be a next step as to determining overall coverage when we present back to the committee on, this is what we've discovered where we really have holes in coverage. So.
We did, following the meeting, I did reach out to him and express the concerns on the coverage, and he's working on some alternatives for adding sirens to our program to make sure those areas are all covered. Also want to add that the testing, it will be somewhat weather dependent.
Yes.
If it is cloudy or rainy or anywhere.
Anything that might actually
indicate a
develop
storm,
into a storm.
we won't be testing.
Yeah, we will postpone it to a later date.
We have kind of preliminary idea of what works and what doesn't. We growled them, but we obviously didn't want to alert anybody. But on April 1st, they will be full tests.
All right. Beyond that, I don't have anything else tonight, except the motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion Lancaster, second by Hoeflich. Clerk, call the roll, please.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Joel.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Down again.
I know.
I didn't even think of that until they said that.
Yeah, exactly.